You read the title right. A lost version of Minecraft was just found after over 10 years of searching, and I'm going to tell you what happened. So this PCGamer article does a pretty good job of explaining what exactly went on with all of this, but we'll also be going through the person's Twitter who found this and was able to get us the archive. So for those of you that don't know, back in 2010, Notch, the creator of Minecraft, was making multiple versions of the game every single week with updates. Well, every once in a while, those updates didn't exactly go according to plan, meaning that things could be broken or not work correctly. So, every once in a while, Notch would push out an update that was ostensibly completely garbage. So he would retract the update and later go in, edit things, come back, release the new version. One of the times that happened was Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1. Now, Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1 was only up for around 3.5 hours because it had a game-breaking graphics bug. It would pretty much make the entire screen gray from what I understand. So for archivists on the internet, there's nothing more important than preserving every single piece of info possible, regardless of if it was good or not. Well, even though this version of the game was a broken, glitchy mess, they wanted it. But for the last 10 years, they haven't been able to get it. Who would even imagine that a version of the game that came out almost 11 years ago would even be downloaded anywhere? Well, a group of archivists called the Omniarchive were collecting different versions of Minecraft Alpha and Minecraft Beta and trying to get every single piece of the game's history that they could. But for over the last 10 years, they couldn't get one version of the game, which was Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1. The reason is, like I said, it was only up for 3.5 hours, and it was a broken version of the game. So the likelihood that a decade later that a 3-hour upload would still be somewhere that they could access was almost impossible. There were no official links anywhere. Most links they had tried had died. There was no way to get in touch with people that would have an original copy because who knows who would have it and who wouldn't. So for the last 10 years, it kind of became an inside joke within the community. So as PCGamer writes, back in September 2010, a woman named Luna downloaded the latest version of an indie game called Minecraft. She was excited and tweeted about it saying, "Oh, Minecraft update." Who knows if she even played it? All we know is that she downloaded it and didn't purge her download folder later. 10 years later, Luna made a group of archivists very happy due to one thing. She backed up the user profiles and saved them before she later wiped the laptop. Finding Alpha 1.1.1 was a long-running joke inside the Omniarchive community because it was only available for a 3.5-hour window. It seemed unlikely that after years of searching, it would even turn up. But then, somebody found Luna's tweet from 2010. If you go to @LunaSorcery, you can read this thread for yourself, but it's all about how Luna ended up finding this version of the game. Back in the days of Classic and Alpha, I used to play Minecraft quite a bit on my old laptop. My data organizing wasn't great at the time, what's changed, so it wasn't uncommon for me to have a mess of multiple versions sitting about in my downloads folder. I even tweeted about it, including such incredible tweets as this one. "Oh, a Minecraft update." Well, in 2011, I got my first desktop computer and never really played anything on that laptop again. In the years following, I wiped and reinstalled the laptop's OS multiple times, but in the interest of not losing personal data, I took backups of the user's profiles first. Fast forward to a decade later, it's safe to say that Minecraft has exploded in popularity and old versions of the game are sought after for archival. One rare version that's of particular interest is Alpha 1.1.1, which was released in September 18th of 2010. Within this community, Alpha 1.1.1 is a long-running meme, even a holy grail of sorts. Across literal years of searching, multiple dead links on Mediafire, etc. lead to nowhere. They never found it. Then someone found that old tweet from 2010, the one where I mentioned a new Minecraft update. Is it possible that I have a copy of the missing Alpha 1.1.1 build? Someone DM'd me a few months back. Maybe I was just having a bad day, but for whatever reason I ignored them. I guess I thought there was no chance in hell that I'd have what they were looking for. That could have been the end of the story. Last night I was sat watching TV, and as I reached the end of my episode, my phone started buzzing. Someone else was reaching out about it, and they'd caught me at just the right time to grab my attention, and I wasn't busy and it couldn't hurt to have a look, right? So I booted up my PC and I looked. I couldn't find the backup, but I knew I had a laptop backup folder in one of my root drives, but it wasn't anywhere to be found. Perhaps it's on my old external USB hard drive, so I rummaged through some boxes, plug it in, and am greeted with that backup folder. Now, I have no idea whereabouts in the backup to look, so naturally, I bodged together a quick script to look for any .jar files with Minecraft in the path. I find several. I look through the date stamps on the files to see if any are remotely close to what they're after, and reader, I wasn't ready. A file with the exact date they're after Could it be? I wasn't sure how to verify which version I was looking at. It could have easily been 1.1.2, but I did what any reasonable person would do. I unzipped the file and grepped the contents for 1.1. I figured there'd be a version string number in there. Well, folks, there it is. So I posted to the Omniarchive server, and it would be an understatement to say that a few people noticed. Just from the reactions, the reality of how big a find this is starts to set in, and I literally start shaking. The moderators quickly ushered me into a private channel to talk about it. They asked that I DM the build over for verification, and I happily oblige. They confirm it's legit, and the server explodes. Someone checked the file modification timestamp on the copy of the build. If we got the time zone calculation correct, it appears that I likely downloaded it less than 90 seconds before 1.1.2 was released. Some freaking astronomical odds going on here. And it doesn't stop there. I mentioned earlier that I found several builds in my backups. Given the success we had already had, I figured I have to check the rest of them. It's mostly common builds that have all been accounted for, but I did find one other thing of note. A dot jar of C0.29_01, a rare version that had been previously only found in a modified state. We now have a clean, unmodified copy of it. It's not quite as earth-shaking as Alpha 1.1.1, but it's still an awesome find. I'm very glad I took the time to look. So these two builds are now up on archive.org. The moral of the story, never delete anything. Also, support archivists, they're doing important work. One minor correction. My copy of Alpha 1.1.1 was seemingly downloaded 89 seconds before Alpha 1.1.2 was compiled, not released. Not quite so impressive, but still cutting it awfully close. I don't have a SoundCloud to plug, so instead I'll just add that trans rights are humans' rights. Everybody, please make sure to go follow Luna at Luna Sorcery. Fantastic thread, and anybody who supports archivists like this should have our support, so head over there and make sure to follow them. So the Omniarchive index is now filled with a few more submissions. As you can see, they have a lot of versions of the game down, but many are still not found to this day. In fact, every single version of the game that's in red here is seemingly lost to time. But who's to say we can't find some of these other versions that have been lost to time? If it took 10 years to find one of them, certainly we can find the rest of them. Alright, let's take a look at what Alpha 1.1.1, the lost version of Minecraft, actually looks like. Of course, we are greeted to the alpha load screen of Minecraft, which is still my favorite to this day. Let's go ahead and start up a single player world. Generating the level. So it looks like it immediately crashed. So there is a fix for this. In the archive, they do have this gray screen fix. So I'm gonna try to install this and see if it works. All right, let's take a look. And there we go. We are officially, oh no. All right, now this could be an error with my game, for sure. However, every time I load up a single player world, it does seem to crash as soon as I move. So we can get a glimpse of the world. This is officially Minecraft Alpha 1.1.1. But if I move my mouse too fast, I'm pretty sure I crashed the game. So I'm gonna try moving here. Oh, I can move. This is the lost version of Minecraft. After 10 years, we finally have this original version. Alright, I'm gonna try to move my mouse. Like I said, I have a gray screen fix installed, so the actual error that caused this version to be unusable has been removed, I believe. But this version of Minecraft is now in its raw, pure form that you could download and play today on your computer. That would have been lost to time had Luna not backed up their laptop. Incredible work by her, even if she didn't realize it until 10 years later. What a fantastic piece of history to have archived. And congrats to Omniarchive for having a new piece to put in their library. They were incredibly excited from what I saw. I even joined their Discord recently to take a look at what they've been doing. They had a huge server event where they invited everybody to play on a server version of this. So, if you or anybody you know might have a backup of an old Minecraft version, please get a hold of the Omniarchive. They have been looking for years for things like this, and they are not giving up the search. In fact, I'm sure that they are more motivated than ever since finding this version of the game, considering it would have been almost impossible to find something like this for how short of a time it was out there. But it was found. So, dig through your old hard drives, never delete anything, and as always, when you're ready for another video, you know where to find me. I'll see you then.